racist?
100% absolutely not.
Hello, Palm Bay, and welcome to Palm Bay Live. And we're going to get started here in 1 second. Let me do some figuring out that we have. Is Janice a racist?
100% absolutely not.
Just bear with me 1 second.
The idea that I'm a racist comes from, I don't even know, it comes from people who've never met me, who've never traveled in my circles, who have no clue about who I am. I can tell you where I grew up. I grew up on the Atlanta Farmers Market as a child, playing with every race and culture. I have worked with every race and culture my entire life. It just, the idea of me as a racist is, for people who know me, they would laugh in your face.
Are you a Republican or are you a Democrat? Because throwing out these weird accusations. Tell us, what is it? Are you a Republican or are you a Democrat?
Well, I wish we could get on the computer at the same time, but there's this thing called WebElect that you can get on if you're a Republican involved in the Republican Party. And if you look up Marcel Adkins, you see that she's a 99.99. That means that I am one of the very, very few people in this area that always votes, and always votes Republican, and always votes, because you can't get 100% apparently. So 99% of the time in primaries I vote, and I vote Republican. 99% of the time in the general elections I vote, and I vote Republican.
What are your plans for the road?
Like I said, I have a plan that will pave every single road in Palm Bay within 15, 20 years. I'm not going to elaborate on that plan just yet. I said in a previous interview with Kevin that I have a plan to pave every road in Palm Bay in 20 years, and I do. And I'm going to unveil that plan just now. So my plan starts with gathering all the homeowner association presidents and each representative from every unit in Palm Bay. With residents in mind, a lottery will be held. The units will pick, the unit representatives will pick from a hat in the lottery. The units will pick from the lottery and have a designated representative, and the roads will be, once that lottery is picked, the representative will choose which roads are going to be picked from the unit. This plan will be paid for by already existing taxes. We pay a fuel tax, and then we also pay a current road maintenance fund, which is funded. So the fuel tax is estimated to be $3 million a year, and the RMF right now sits at about $3 million. The key aspects to this plan, it will not replace the road bond program. What happens when a unit is slated for the road bond and when they win the lottery? I know politicians. What happens is they will decide, hey, let's replace the lottery or let's choose a new lottery winner. No, you supplement, you do not replace. So that is my road plan. And I'll have it drawn out and I'll put it on my website for you all. Thank you.
Hi, Palm Bay, and welcome to Palm Bay Live. And with me tonight, I have Mr. Jeff Bailey. I'm waiting for another guest to join me here shortly. But that was an interesting opening, right, Mr. Bailey? Get to see the highlights of the previous debates and the interviews, and we get to see exactly what took place. And where are we right now? Because you're keeping track of the tallies, I understand. And where are we at right now?
Yeah, right now, I think that it's probably no surprise that in the mayor's race, just talking Palm Bay real quick, that Kay Mirage and Ron Medina are leading the pack around 44 and 41% respectively. So Kay's in the lead. Of course, as you know, and listeners who might be watching, in order to actually win tonight, you have to have 50% of the vote plus one more vote. You have to have a majority. A plurality, just being in the lead, is not going to be enough. So it looks like based on right now, just based on the early voting and absentee, Kay and Rob will go on to the November election. Just the two of their names will be on the ballot at that time. Then quickly looking at the other race in Palm Bay that was on the ballot tonight was Council Seat 2, which we had 5 candidates: Janice Crisp, Donnie Felix, Peter Filiberto, Ulrika Lefel, and Santa Wright. In this race, it's kind of more interesting. Donnie Felix appears, based on the absentee and early, that he has a good enough of a lead that he will come out and be able to move on to the next election in November. However, it's pretty close between the second and third place, which right now is second place Filiberto and third place Janice Crisp. Right now, Janice Crisp needs only 123 votes to win on election day. And I can test and know I was actually in this position in 2014. I was down somewhere around 100 or a couple hundred votes, and I made it up on election day. So anything's possible. We're either going to see Donnie Felix and Janice Crisp or Johnny Felix and Peter Filiberto come November. So I think that one's a little bit surprising. And then, Santa Isabel Wright and Barrica are back around 11 and 10%. And the other big race that probably everybody's interested in is the state representative District 53. That one looks like it's going to be easily won by the incumbent, Randy Fine. That was the race between Randy Fine and Marcy Atkins. He's got 65% to her 35% from the early voting and absentee. That will be a hard margin to make up today because, with this COVID and everything else going on, there's been a lot of people went absentee or early voting where there were smaller lines. So the voting today was certainly a lot less than what it was in 2018, and also still less than what was the last presidential election cycle, 2016.
Please like and share this video. Please share this video to all the platforms. I run a little bit late this evening because I was out on the campaign, taking pictures, getting some sights and sounds of the candidates. You might have seen me post some stuff on Facebook. So yeah, I try to cover all angles of the political sphere. So hopefully you guys are appreciative of that. But please do me a favor, share the video multiple times to different groups right now. I didn't get a chance to do that. So do me a favor and do that right now so we can get the word out on who is winning and who is losing. Update us on the judges. Where are we at with the judge races?
Okay, Kevin. Those races, we had 2 circuit judges. We had within the 18th circuit. We have Group 18. That is Steve Henderson versus Michael Peacock. Looks like Steve Henderson's going to win that pretty easily. He had 75% before election day. So I don't think there's enough votes today, even if Peacock got all of them to win that one. So Steve Henderson will win Group 18. Then Group 21 is Donna Goner, and forgive me, I might be mispronouncing her last name, but no, I had a lot of friends that were supporting her. She is she has 64% to Mark Jones, who has about 36%. That was a pretty friendly race. I didn't hear anything too bombastic there, but Donna has appeared to carry that race. I think it would be safe to call it in her favor. Awesome. Then we have also actually have one more. We had the Group 25 within the 18th circuit, another circuit judge. This one was between Sam Bookhart and Oscar Houtzing. And again, I might be mispronouncing Oscar's last name. I apologize. Oscar is a former judge. He was an appointee by, I believe it was Bush. That might be off. He was appointee though by a governor for about 2 years. He appears to not have been able to get back in there. Sam Bookhart, he's ran for a couple things. It looks like he's going to win this judge race. He has 72% of the vote.
Awesome. Michael Bross, where is he at?
Okay, those were the circuit. 1 second. So with Michael Bross, I apologize. Yep, I scrolled too far down. Group 15, you had Tesha Ballou and Michael Bross. That appears to be favoring Tesha. She has 60-40 on this right now, or 61-39. Again, 17,000 votes. That's probably going to be hard to make up in election day when we had such a suppressed turnout.
Oh, wow. So that's what we're going on. What about our neighboring cities? Any updates on those?
So if you're looking around, the only other thing that's really big there, we also had a Republican primary for Congress for our District 8 Congressman. Bill Posey is the incumbent. Looks like he's going to walk away pretty easily with a 65-30 or 65-35% win over Scott King. So about a 30-point win for him, it looks like. We also had neighboring to us just north of our House District 53, we have House District 52. That seat's held by Thad Altman. He's been he served 8 years as a state rep previously, then 8 years as a state senator. He's now again a state rep. Because the term limits don't allow. As long as you have a break, you can go back to the other chamber. So he was being primary challenged by Matt Nye for a second time in a row. Looks like that Altman came away pretty easily. He has a 59 to 41% lead there, so about 18 points. The other one that's important for Palm Bay, this is actually another Palm Bay vote, two of them. Let's talk about the county commissioner and the school board. So
Right.
on the county commissioner, we had a Republican primary, so only Republicans voted.
That's the one with Tobiah, right?
Say that again?
That's the one with Tobiah?
Yeah, that's John Tobiah. Commissioner Tobiah is the incumbent in that one. And then Mayor Kathy Meehan. She's the
Right.
mayor of Melbourne. She's term limited up there. She was challenging him in the primary. Looks like it's a 64 to 36% win for John Tobiah.
Okay.
Then the other big one was school board. We had District 3 school board. That is the incumbent would have been Tina Deskovich. And she was being challenged. One second. Getting some more results. We're starting to get precincts in here. Looks like coming in, so that's why I was updating it. 1 second. So for school board, you had Tina Deskovich and Jennifer Jenkins. Jennifer Jenkins was, this is nonpartisan, so everybody got the vote, Republicans, Democrats, and non-affiliated voters. Jennifer Jenkins, right now, 12 out of 36 precincts, so 1/3 of the precincts are reporting. She has a pretty hefty lead, 57 to 43. So I think that it's safe to say right now, with that much in, Jennifer Jenkins is going to be the new school board member representing District 3 on the school board. And that is supposed to show some type of shift on the school board as far as ideology and philosophy as far as education. So that's going to be interesting to watch and see how she handles that. The other school board race that was in the district, it does not cover any of Palm Bay, is School Board District 4. That was, the incumbent was Matt Susan, and he was being challenged by David Worrells. That was a little bit less contentious race. I think David was just trying to give a new option, a new voice, but that appears to be Matt's won 74%, so he's going to carry that one. They have 17 out of 41 districts or precincts reporting so far. So again, somewhere around a third of them, he's going to win that pretty easily. Quick update, it looks like Filiberto with 4 precincts out of 16. Real quick, Kevin, and then I'll throw it back to you. Filiberto with 4 precincts reporting today. He has increased his lead slightly. He has about 253, I believe, or 43 votes. So it looks like he's added about 100 some votes. But there's still a lot to come. So we'll see how that one works out. We got to keep an eye on that seat.
How many more precincts left to be counted?
That would be 12.
12. Okay.
Yeah. Well, 12 just came in. It just came in. Looks like, well, Filiberto's made up a lot of ground. It's now 29% Felix, 27% Filiberto, and Janice is at 24. So he's opened some ground. Looks like it's going to be Donnie Felix and Peter Filiberto out there for the November election.
Oh, wow. Okay. Awesome. Awesome.
Four more precincts to go, but that's probably going to be hard to make up in 4. That would had to be pretty lopsided.
Awesome. Okay. If you guys are listening, this is what's going on right now. And I was in touch with the candidates, so they're aware that I'm going to be looking for them to call into the program here in a hour. I'm going to have to reach out to them to get them on voice mail so we can hear how they're reacting to the results right now. But the interesting one is definitely going to be Janice Chris. I think that's going to be a shocker for a lot of us right now.
Well, we didn't update on the mayor's race. There's been a major change in the mayor's race.
Oh,
Tay
wow.
is now around 41%, Rob Medina 45. So it looks like, again, I think it's safe to say that neither one's going to get the required amount of votes today to win it outright, and that both of those will go on. But it looks like Rob might be the front runner there. He has about a 700 vote lead right now. So again, only 4 precincts to go.
Okay. Someone's asking me to talk about C3. C3, we didn't vote for C3 this time around. We're going to be waiting until November, and I will be making some inquiries about scheduling the gentlemen in for interviews for the fall. So that's going to be coming up. So don't worry about that. We have some stuff planned for that. So C3 is going to be in the fall, and so we're going to be planning some interviews, some one-on-one interviews with them for the fall. So look out for that. I'm not sure what else you want me to opine on that, but that's where that is. So that is in the works. I also scheduled interviews with Phil Moore, And Scott from the Democratic Party, he's going to be on here running for District 50. I mean, the Senate seat, actually, the Senate seat. So we're going to be having a lot more interviews coming up in the fall. So, be mindful of that. Let's see some questions. I was just asking you to tell people why it wasn't on the ballot. Oh, why wasn't it on the ballot? Yes, because of the fact that one of the gentlemen that was on the ballot dropped out. So when he dropped out, it automatically advanced the other two gentlemen to the general election. That's why they're not on the primary right now.
And Kevin, I can add to that if you like.
Yeah, go ahead.
So in 2016, there was a charter review commission that was, given the task of looking at things in the charter. One of the things that were changed was adding this primary scenario, because we're having a lot of candidates that were winning with a plurality. So they might win with 30-some% of the vote, which is not near the majority, instead of having a majority of people pick it. So the review committee and council put on the ballot a scheme to allow the primary to kind of sort through and do a runoff. Now, with other nonpartisan races, such as the judges and the school board races, they go ahead and, whatever candidates are out there, they all are put on the primary ballot. And if there's only two candidates, that means there's going to be a winner unless there's a, absolute dead tie. But the commission that was appointed, which were citizens from Palm Bay, they decided that they didn't want a heads-up race like that decided in the primary where there tends to be less voters. They wanted more voters to have a say in those races. So they said, if there's only two, go ahead and move them on to the general election. So it's a slightly different from the other nonpartisan races. So I understand people might be a little bit confused about that, because the judges and school board, they went ahead and had only two people on there, but they put them on the primary anyways.
Okay, awesome. All right. And I see Mr. Fine already celebrating his win on Facebook. And so, yeah, that is, I don't think that's a surprise to a lot of folks, but we're here. Go ahead.
We have 3 more precincts in, so there's only 1 precinct not reporting. I'm not sure which one it is. Might be a big or small one. But it looks like Filiberto has again, it's going to be Filiberto and Felix. He's now within about 100 votes. Let's see. He's within 200 votes now of Donnie Felix. So Donnie Felix looks like he's going to have a narrow win, unless this is a big precinct out there. And then with Kay and Rob, and I didn't mean not to mention that we had Alfie Agari and Alan Borkowski also running. They had 8.5% and about 6% respectively. Right now, Ron Medina is still around 45%, K 41%. So that one hasn't moved much, but the C2 looks like it's a pretty clear picture now.
Okay. All right. So we're looking at possibly Donnie and Felix into the. Donnie and Pete is moving on to the general election. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. All right. How did Miss Burkell Lafayette do?
She's about 9.59. She's around 10%. So, and then Santa Wright, she's around 11%. So they were pretty far. 4 and 5 are pretty far away. Janice Chris is around 24 to give you reference point. So Janice Chris has more than Barika and Santa Isabel Wright combined.
Awesome. All right, let's run another video and highlight, and while we wait for some more results to come in. So let's enjoy a reel from when we, did the one-on-ones with these candidates.
I'm answering that call, and I want to do it in the community that I've lived my whole life in. I want to serve the citizens of Seminole County.
The obvious question: why do you want to be a judge? Tell us, Sam. Why do you want to be a judge?
I want to be a judge because I want to use my legal experience, my desire to serve, and my ability to be fair and impartial, and my commitment and love for our system of justice to administer law according to the rule of law.
Since I was very young, there were two things I wanted to do. One was either be a judge or be a senator. And that came from my grandfather. He didn't instill that. Being a judge, to me, is the highest form of service that you can do within the legal profession. Having the ability to have the trust of others to make the decisions that they can't make on their own, I think that to me is a great honor.
I want to make a change for Palm Bay. There's been so much corruption and unfairness within the city. I want to bring the government back to the citizens of Palm Bay instead of making decisions based out of, what's best for me. It needs to be what's best for the community and what's best for the citizens.
Okay. All right, we're back.
All right.
So where are we at right now?
Just checking in. Let's see if we got. I'm just hitting refresh. Don't see any more updates on that. Another quick recap for those who weren't with us earlier. For Congress, Bill Posey will still be the Republican candidate. He'll move on to face Jim Kennedy in the November election. Posey's a Republican, Kennedy a Democrat. We had two state House races that have incumbent Republicans. Both incumbents won pretty easily. That would be Representative Thad Altman and Representative Randy Fine. We also had a commissioner race that had a primary challenge. And that was between John Tabaya and Kathy Meehan. John Tabaya is winning that. The mayor Meehan, she will be, I guess she'll be finishing out her term as mayor, then have other things to do. She does have her own shop and business. Beyond that, we had, I think it was 4 judge races. We had the first one, Sam Bookhart won pretty easily. Followed by, Tesha Ballou, another incumbent judge. She's an incumbent judge. Bookhart was not. Tesha, she has 60% of the vote. She's won pretty easily over Michael Bross. Steve Henderson, that's an open seat, about 74-27 over the 74-26 over Michael Peacock. So Steve Henderson will go on. Donna Gerner, 60-40, 59-41 about over Mark Jones. She'll win easily. Sam Bookhart again, 71% over Oscar. Tina Descovich, that's mostly it's been very friendly to incumbents today where there are incumbents. This race, we had Tina Descovich. She's losing. Looks like she's going to lose by about 8 points, 54-46. And so by Jennifer Jenkins. It looks like Jennifer Jenkins will be the new school board member. The other school board member that was up and had a challenger, Matt Susan, he won pretty easily, 75% of the vote over David Worrells. And then Palm Bay mayor, we're going to see, we're going to have 3 seats up for Palm Bay City Council mayor in November. The mayor's race will be between Kay Mirage and Rob Medina. Rob Medina looking to be the victor tonight, but did not capture more than 50% of the vote in order to win. So they'll both move on. And then we also have for seat 2, it will be Donnie Felix and Peter Filiberto. They both are pretty close together, but Donnie Felix does have the comes out ahead, the leader there, but they'll both face off in the general election.
Awesome. All right, let's see if we can get some of these guys on the phone. While go ahead and talk to the folks about I'm not sure any other the other city races. Like, was there any Melbourne races? I'm not sure.
No, Melbourne. Most cities will have their races. They'll come out on the November ballot. I don't believe. I think there was a couple that had races, but they were all uncontested. So therefore, you're not going to see any results tonight. But I do think there's a few that would have been tonight had they had challengers. I think it was Cocoa Beach. I have to look them up again because it's not on this page. But I think they had 3 seats up and they were all uncontested.
Okay.
I will say this: the numbers reflect tonight. One of the things I noticed as far as the actual voter turnout, we had a much larger gap. I haven't had a chance to break it down for the election day, but certainly before election day, Democrats had a huge lead as far as how many people turned out for absentee and early voting. So that might have been some of what we saw in some of these races, and we saw the races tip back towards Rob Medina's favor today. Today, election day, I do know that throughout the county there was about 6 or 70, close to 70% Republicans voted today. But coming into today, it was a very heavy Democrat, which normally in Palm Bay, the actual turnout's pretty close. They're usually within 1 point. But I'm guessing that in this case, probably Democrats had about 2 or 3 points additional turnout. Also interesting was MPAs were up in the early voting absentee. I don't know how that carried forward in election day, but that'll be an interesting stat to watch. Checking one more time to see if we have the final precinct in. Palm Bay has 15 out of 16 reporting so far. Do not see that yet. And of course, just a reminder, the third race that you'll see is for seat 3 in Palm Bay on the November ballot. That is the incumbent right now is Brian Anderson, who made a choice not to run for re-election. So it's going to come down between Tom Gom and Randy Foster on that one. All those three seats will have a new, all three of those seats will have a new person in there. So we're turn over a lot of seats pretty quickly in Palm Bay. So it'll be interesting to see how that changes.
All right.
So it looks like the final precinct is coming in real quick. There'll be maybe some provisionals and a couple of floater. There might be a slight change in vote tally over the next couple of days, but it looks like we have Donnie Felix has 199, almost 200 votes more than Filiberto. So very close race. I'm not sure if it meets the statistical requirement. Might have been close enough for a runoff if this was declaring a winner. And then for the mayor's race, Rob Medina, that last precinct gave him a little bit more of a bump. He has approximately 1,000 and looks like 89, if I'm doing my math quickly in my head while I'm on air here. It's sometimes hard to do math while you're being watched, but he's got a healthy lead of 5 points. So Rob Medina definitely came out with a clear victory in that one, but not enough to win it overall. So those 9 and 6% that went to Mr. Algari and Mr. Burkowski, those voters and all the other voters who didn't vote in the primary that will in the general are going to have to make a call between Kay and Rob and Donnie and Peter, along with Randy and Tom Gum. Randy Foster and Tom Gum.
Okay. So we're looking at wow. November is going to be hot. Wow. It's going to be a very hot race going into the November cycle. So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting. The outcome, again, for the District 53 race, that was, that was heavily contested. A lot of political bickering back and forth between the two. Mr. Fine, congrats to you on winning that election. That was a clear outcome. That's the only one that right now that we can see that's a clear outcome besides the judgeships. And we're looking at a C2 runoff and a mayoral runoff going into November. That's what we're looking at. And again, the surprise for the night for many is going to be Janice Chris actually putting that nail biter in there, actually, scoring some points. So that's a surprise for many right now as we go ahead.
I also think that Jennifer Jenkins, at least by the amount that she won, that was probably a little bit surprising over Tina Deskovich for the school board. I think everybody expected to be pretty close, but she won by almost about 9 points overall.
Okay.
So that's pretty good showing for a non-incumbent, because again, all the incumbents for State House, Commissioner, all of them for the most part, and the judges, they all won, I think, except for Tina.
Right. Awesome. Yeah. So we're here, folks. This is where it's at. we actually, I'm not sure if it's the outcome that you guys wanted. It makes good for good TV for me. I can put these guys and bring them back onto the air going into the fall. It just gives me a lot more work to do to give you guys the, provide the medium so you guys can be able to decipher who's the best choice going into the fall, or if you're set on who your choices are, that's good too as well. But this is where we at. It's been a good couple months, and I'm happy to be able to to provide this medium where you guys can be able to make those choices as to who your candidates should be going into the next calendar years of mayoralship or councilmanship or whatever we want to call it. But here we are.
Let me add this to it, if I may, Kevin. And quickly, congrats to everybody who ran in Palm Bay. It takes a lot to do that, and as well as the council, as well as all the other candidates throughout our district running for other offices, judges, and up the line. But I will say that the way everything worked out, I think there's a lot of people probably could have predicted that these were probably expected to be the front runners. I think that what it's setting up, what we saw in the school board race, which was also talked about in some of the debates between candidates, was the partisan flair of these nonpartisan races. Not that long ago, I believe it was back in 2000, it was changed. The school boards used to be Republican Democrat. And there certainly has been some talk at times about even making some of the local city council races partisan, so making them list their affiliation. In that school board race this time, you did have a incumbent Republican and a challenger who was a Democrat, both being helped by their respective parties. And so there's debate whether it was good or bad, but it's something that both parties do. Both parties have done in the past in the council races too. The way things have lined up right now, you're going to have one Republican and one Democrat in each of the 3 open seats for this November. So it is expected that both party apparatuses will be out there trying to drive up the vote total for their respective voter pools to try to help the candidates here locally. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works out. In 2016, Palm Bay voted Trump, but we know we got a lot of national polls that show Trump, struggling in some ways. So it'll be interesting to see if Palm Bay follows that or if they switch back over. We've also voted for Democrat in gubernatorial races. When we have years where we have governor races, we've voted for Republican and Democrat governors. So it could easily go either way, and it'll be interesting to see how that affects our local races. But I think we should all probably expect a little bit of a partisan tint at the very least whenever we see these races heat up come October, November.
Awesome. I'm trying to read some of the candidates on my phone to hear from them. So you guys,
I'm sure they're getting lots of calls.
I'm pretty sure they're getting a lot.
They're exhausted. I know how exhausted they are right now.
Yeah, right now, I got Mr. Pete Filberto. He's on his way home, and he has not seen the results yet. And Mr. Felix also has not seen the results yet. So they're both in the dark. They were asking me the results, so that was kind of interesting. So they have not seen the results yet. They have not really seen exactly what is happening in the polls. But yeah, I just left them at the polling station for the most part because I was out there amongst them trying to take some photos and gave them some photo ops and all that good stuff. And mix and mingle, and they were busy working the crowds and trying to secure their base. So yeah, it's been a interesting political season. And again, thank you guys for helping me to provide this medium to be able to opine on this. So it's really good. It's really good. So let's take another break while we quick break while I try to get some more members on the platform. Just give me 1 second here. Let me line this up. Palm Bay and our surrounding communities, I would like to thank you for your tremendous support. As we move into the fall months, Palm Bay Live is seeking your support so we can continue to deliver valuable programming. Your monetary donations will help us so we can achieve those goals. You can donate online at www.palmbaylive.com. Advertisers are also welcome. Palm Bay Live is a nonprofit organization. Thank you for your continued support. Okay, we're back. Yeah, the guys are busy. Everybody's busy. We're not going to get them on the phones tonight, it looks like. So we may be able to have to wait and see how it turns out for the fall. As we go forward, maybe we'll be able to get them on a one-on-one moving into the fall season. So it's stand by for that. And I don't know if there's any more questions and more comments before, because maybe all the polls are reported. Nothing else to report. We're here.
I do know, I think it was Carmine Vital was out there asking about the voter turnout. I haven't, again, I'm going to have to get down here and break down their complete data and do precinct by precinct to add some of it up. But my prediction was that it's probably a little bit higher than it was in 2016, but lower than 2018. And so for a presidential year, I don't know that it was a lot less. I'd say Republicans were showing up about where we would expect. Democrats were higher and NPAs were higher. So I wouldn't say that overall the turnout was down. It's certainly low, but it was even lower in 2016. 2018, we did have a little bit more turnout. I can't really say exactly what those races are. Obviously I had a hotly contested race myself. We'll see if these mayor races this year are able to spend more than what my opponent did last time, and all the outside money. It was over $40,000 for a seat at the time that only paid about $4,000 to $10,000. So anyhow, or $10,000 or 12. But anyhow, there's a lot of money that will still be spent as part of this, and that's part of the thing with having 2 election cycles. These candidates are going to have to go back out there, re-up their kitty if they spend everything on the primary. I'm sure that both Ms. Mirage and Mr. Medina would have liked to have ended it tonight and win with a victory. I know that Councilman Deputy Mayor Johnson and I both felt that way when we kind of ran through the primary night, and we were pretty close. We were actually around, I think, 47, 48%, both of us. So we were really close to getting what we needed. So, but they're going to have to continue this fight, and it'll be, and there certainly will be a lot more voters. I expect a lot higher turnout. Now we have 79,000 registered voters right now and growing in Palm Bay. And so there'll be a lot more people turn out. Should expect probably over 60% of that, but and maybe even higher.
Hey, Jeff, Ron just joined us. So let me go ahead and put him on the screen. Hey, Ron, how you doing?
Oh my God, I finally made it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Welcome, Ron.
Hey, Mr. Bailey, how are you? I haven't talked to you in a minute. How you been?
All right, sir. How are you?
How's the little one?
Oh, they're both really good. So.
Outstanding. Mine
Yeah,
decided
stuff
to
in the
lose
room
her
right now.
ever-loving mind. Yeah, mine decided to lose her ever-loving mind tonight. As soon as I said, "Hey, Daddy's got something to do after dinner," and I swear to God, it was just like she inhaled meth and just.
All right, sir. How you feel about the race? Have you seen the results?
I'm looking at them right now. Pardon me. I'm looking at them right now, and where do we want to start?
Well, I mean, I think we were all surprised about the Janice Chris numbers. I think a lot of us is shocked by that. And the outcome of, and then the outcome of Mr. Fine's race, the District 53 race, that was like a slam dunk. He pretty much made a statement with that race based on the outcome.
I'm looking at that. I'm looking for that now. I just haven't found it yet.
Yeah.
Oh my. Okay. I found it.
Yeah.
Which again is rather surprising with respect to the margin of victory. I've seen lots and lots of comments, particularly on Facebook, with respect to, people are just tired of the mudslinging. They're tired of the name calling. Pardon me. And this was a particularly nasty primary.
Yes, it
I mean,
was.
there were just insults. There were just insults flying back and forth and forth and back. And again, I can't doubt your assessment with respect to this is quite the statement by Representative Randy Fine.
Yep. He made a stamp. He made a bold stamp. And yeah, I think now he can clearly celebrate his win. He actually already put out a statement on Facebook, so it's there. Yeah, quite interesting. And the Janice Chris situation, I mean, that was a surprise to us too as well. At one point, she was looking like she was gonna take this thing away. But we're here. Now we are looking at possible runoff. Well, it's not possible. It is a runoff between Donnie and Filberto going into the fall. And are you there, Ron, or did I lose you?
Yeah,
Indeed.
I have to reconnect for whatever reason. My sister just called me.
Okay.
Give me just a second and I will reconnect. Okay, can you hear me now? Crap, hold on. All right, let's see. Can you hear me now?
I hear you, Ron.
Dadgummit. Supposed to be on my Bluetooth.
We can't hear you, Ron. We hear you.
But I'm gonna try it again on my Bluetooth. It makes for a better conversation instead of me yelling at my phone. Okay. And now my wife is yelling at me. How cool is
She's
that?
telling you that we can hear you. We can't hear you.
Oh.
Sorry, folks.
Let's try it.
I'm playing phone tag. I have one of the mayor candidates.
Okay.
That
it's not working.
Calling in here in a second. So I'm playing phone tag so we can get some response. Miss Atkins just put out a message on Facebook and it reads, "It's been a great honor and pleasure to run this race. Thank you very much to all who voted for and supported me. We congratulate Representative Fine and wish him and his family the best." So that was a great, nice message that she put out there.
Right.
From Miss. So she pretty much conceded the race.
Well, it was a class act.
That was class act. All right.
So we have to give her props for that.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be a tough call to make for her, but I'm glad that she did, and probably give her a little bit of closure. And now if she considers doing something again, I think it's an important move to make and moving forward.
Yeah. So that was pretty interesting. Yeah, these races really they're surprising me tonight. Where we at, they're surprising me. Pretty much so. I mean, the judgeships, I kind of know in my head where they were going to go. Of course, I couldn't opine publicly because I'm the news, so I had to just wait and see what played out. And thank you, Rebecca. Thank you for your continued support, and please continue to support me. Thank you for that. Let's see. She's a gracious lady. Dr. Atkins is well spoken. Yes, Miss Foe. Yes, she is. All right. So what else, Mr. McLean? What are you taking Miss Barika's race and her situation?
I don't know what to say about this. I kind of Well, first off, we knew that Mr. Filiberto and Mr. Felix both were pretty strong candidates. They
Mhm.
made lots of appearances. If I remember correctly, they were on Palm Bay Live with the debate, and they made quite the impression. I think that between the two of them, we should see quite a spirited runoff for Palm Bay City Council seat 2. I think that, excuse me, I'm still shocked by Janice Crisp.
I think a lot of us are.
Yeah, that one, I honestly did not see that one coming. But I think without doubt, between Mr. Felix and Mr. Filiberto, we can definitely expect to see some verbal sparring going on. We can definitely see some, maybe a little bit more revealing of plans with respect to what they would hope to accomplish while they're sitting on the dais.
Right.
I think that between the two of them, we're in for a show. I think everybody's going to need to take a deep breath, because we've been running hard these last couple of months, and everyone has been, up in their feelings in their candidates, with their candidates, for their candidates. And we just need to just take a deep breath, relax for a couple of days, and then let's reapproach this situation and hopefully be able to approach it in a little bit more civil manner, and let's focus on what's good for the city. And I think that's one of the things that I learned while I was campaigning with Barikia. I think one of the things that I've definitely learned is that Palm Bay voters, you might not agree with everything that they say, but these are some of the most engaged voters and engaged citizenship in Brevard County. These folks are on it. You can't BS them one way or another. They're on it. So I hope that, even though my chosen candidate tonight wasn't our night, but I hope that the citizens of Palm Bay really focus on the issues that are the issues at hand that are important to them. And they're smart. They educate themselves. And I hope that whoever is the ultimate winner for this particular seat, I hope that the citizens get behind them, support them, and hold them accountable as well.
Right. Awesome. Yes, I hope so too. And for those who didn't see the first real highlight, I'm going to run it again. I did a highlight of the races. I'm going to run it again so we can take a little break and I'm waiting for the candidate to call back in. So let me run it again so everybody can see it. Give me 1 second. Let me set this up. This Janice Chris erased it.
100% absolutely not. The idea that I'm a racist comes from, I don't even know, it comes from people who've never met me, who've never traveled in my circles, who have no clue about who I am. I can tell you where I grew up. I grew up on the Atlanta Farmers Market as a child, playing with every race and culture. I have worked with every race and culture my entire life. It just, the idea of me as a racist for people who know me, they would laugh in your face.
Are you a Republican or are you a Democrat? Because a lot of people have thrown out these weird accusations. Tell us, what is it? Are you a Republican or are you a Democrat?
Well, I wish we could get on the computer at the same time, but there's this thing called Webelect that you can get on if you're a Republican involved in the Republican Party. And if you look up Marcelle Adkins, you see that she's a 99.99. That means that I am one of the very, very few people in this area that always votes, and always votes Republican, and always votes, not because you can't get 100% apparently. So 99% of the time in primaries I vote, and I vote Republican. 99% of the time in the general elections I vote, and I vote Republican.
What are your plans for the road?
Like I said, I have a plan that will pave every single road in Palm Bay within 15 to 20 years. I'm not going to elaborate on that plan just yet. I said in a previous interview with Kevin that I have a plan to pave every road in Palm Bay in 20 years, and I do. And I'm going to unveil that plan just now. So my plan starts with gathering all the homeowner association presidents and each representative from every unit in Palm Bay. With residents in mind, a lottery will be held. The units will pick, the unit representatives will pick from a hat in the lottery. The units will pick from the lottery and have a designated representative, and the roads will be, once that lottery is picked, the representative will choose which roads are going to be picked from the unit. This plan will be paid for by already existing taxes. We pay a fuel tax, and then we also pay a current road maintenance fund, which is funded. So the fuel tax is estimated to be $3 million a year, and the RMF right now sits at about $3 million. The key aspects to this plan, it will not replace the road bond program. What happens when a unit is slated for the road bond and when they win the lottery? I know politicians. What happens is they will decide, hey, let's replace the lottery or let's choose a new lottery winner. No, you supplement, you do not replace. So that is my road plan. And I'll have it drawn out and I'll put it on my website for you all. Thank you.
So there you have it. That was my video highlight that I quickly put together of this, what happened these last couple of months. So I've been busy behind the scenes trying to work for you guys, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. But yeah, that's what happened in those interviews and debates. So this is where we're at. So again, any questions? Where we at, guys?
Just again to say congratulations to Rob and Kay and to Donnie and Peter. It's going to be, I think a lot of residents and myself included are going to be excited to see some debates, and with just two of them, we know who the top candidates are. They'll be on the November ballot, and see them talk about those major issues going forward. And for me, especially, it's important to hear how are you going to handle tax and spending for the next couple of years, because we've already seen some state cuts. Clerks of courts have been hit really hard. It's kind of unspoken heroes because they've stayed open, operating judicial system, but they've taken some hard hits from the state. But local governments, other local governments such as municipalities, are taking hits, and there could easily be, with either next year or the year after, a hit on local property taxes. And so it's going to be interesting to see how candidates, how they envision handling that going forward. So say hi to your little girl there, Ron.
Say hi, Mr.
But so I sit interested. Hello. So it'll be great to see how they interact with each other on a one-to-one basis instead of being 4 and 5 people in those races. And of course, we're also going to interject, well-known commodities and Mr. Gom and Mr. Foster for C3. And at the same time, the presidential election is really going to heat up. So all the narratives are going to change. Some of these contested races like House 53, it's done, over with, it's old news. So it's going to be interesting to see what the new news is, what the new headlines will be.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting what we're going to get into going into the fall. I think Mr. Guam's race and Mr. Foster is going to probably get heated too as well. We'll see how that plays out. Again, they will be on our platform, Palm Bay Live, and we will be able to ask questions of the candidates and, weigh our options as we go into November 3rd election. That is going to be an interesting seat of quite handily. I think Mr. Filberto and Mr. Felix situation is also going to be a tough race as well. Now they all secure their bases, and we now have to see how that plays out going into a general election, when this is when we see more individuals actually shows up at the poll and actually vote. So I think right now we're looking at how many registered individuals we have in Palm Bay right now, Mr. Bailey. Do you know offhand?
I think it's between 77 or 79,000.
Okay. And how many voted today? Do we know?
I do not have that total. I know
Okay.
we're around, I want to say it's probably around 20 to 21.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, and we always know that primary votes usually have low numbers in primary votes. What was surprising was the mailing ballots, the amount of mailing ballots that came in that I saw that reported on Saturday. That was a lot. I was surprised by that. And coming from both sides, I think we had like 6,000 mailing ballots from Democrats and about 3,000 or so mailing ballots from Republicans. So that was quite interesting. So yeah, so the turnout there was good, but overall we could do better. I mean, let's get out and vote. You know, I'm here to help supply you the information, but you know, hopefully you've made your decision, and I want you to actually go in there and push that button or bubble, fill in that bubble, as we can say, and make it happen. Exercise your right to vote, and you know, and do it, and just make it happen, so we can have a better Palm Bay. I'm going to try this candidate one more time, and then if not, then we're just going to have to probably call it a night because everybody's probably tired.
And Kevin, I saw in the comments that somebody wanted me to talk about chickens. Look, let's keep it simple. We have 4 chickens allowed right now. Let's do 10 chickens and call it a day. I think that'd be a great compromise. So 4 chickens aren't bothering anybody, 10 aren't either. Because again, we have a true hit to our food supply. It's going to be interesting. But yeah, that's a bit of levity. And the other thing, real quick, Kevin, I just want to tell you, kudos. I don't know about on Ron's end, but your hair and makeup people, fabulous. Best I've ever had. Thank you.
I hear you, sir. Give me 1 second here. Yeah.
Yeah, my hairstylist is she's relatively unemployed these days. Makeup, there is no help for this.
Yeah, I think Mr. Medina is tired. He's going straight to voicemail, so I'm not getting him. Try it again. I think a lot of people is probably calling them by now.
But I just want to say thank you, Kevin, for doing these videos, allowing people to have some raw access to the information and to points of views that's unfiltered, so people can really take a look at them and judge them and absorb them as they see fit. Hopefully, there's enough people. I know we've been on for an hour tonight. I think Kevin and I, we talked about trying to make it a little bit shorter, but we've almost hit an hour. So sometimes it's hard for people to get in there. So, but I know the people that did take the time to watch some of the debates, the one-on-one interviews, they're very enlightening. And even for myself, who is relatively connected to the political community and some of the individuals running or either behind the scenes that are helping these candidates, it still helps us get a better grasp of who we're putting in office, and also just reminds us that sometimes people think that's important being on city council. It's certainly an important job that needs to be done. But look, most people don't even know. They might know their mayor, and that's about it. We're just regular individuals. So in the end, anything that can help people who are trying to run and just be serve as a regular citizen, helps get their message out there. So I definitely appreciate it. You're doing a great job.
One thing we didn't talk about, Miss Isabella Wright, Santa Isabella Wright. This was her second time running, was it, or third?
She's ran for city council twice, and she ran for state house once. That in my since I've been around. So I was surprised. I thought she was going to get third place. To be honest with you, I thought she'd be third instead of Janice Crisp, just because she has ran a couple times, but she unfortunately has not been successful. Third time was not a charm for her.
Yeah, that was interesting that she didn't really score the way she should have on the ballot, but hopefully she stay active in the community, and if you're listening, Ms. Wright, and I think you are, stay active in the community and do your part to make Palm Bay a better place. That's my hope, because everybody has a voice, everybody, and they bring something to the table, and so we should definitely ask you to stay active in the community so we can make Palm Bay a better place to live and work. Yeah. So and while we're waiting, I'm going to give it a couple more minutes, and then I'm going to call it a day. But the Emerald Lake situation, we saw some videos on the internet flying around, and I was able to look at them, and I was able to also very close of securing an interview with the developer over there, and so very soon. So look out for that, where I can be able to either the developer or the communications person for that project, so they can talk about it and and you guys can get a backdrop of what's going on and what's going to happen. But overall, the pictures look beautiful. What do you guys think? I mean, it is just a marvelous project to me, looking at it. And I've been longing for a downtown, and that looks like it's going to be a downtown. Thoughts?
No,
Palm Bay could definitely use a downtown without doubt. And I think that, I'm sorry, Jeff, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry. I think that's something that we all can agree on.
Mm-hmm.
I know I had spoken with Mr. Bailey earlier about, when I say earlier, I mean like maybe 2, maybe 4 months ago, somewhere like that. Of course, life gets in the way. But Eastern Florida State College, they have a planetarium that they're not using. And I think it would be in Palm Bay's best interest if we could relocate that somewhere within our city limits. Anything that we can do to keep dollars here instead of being spent in Melbourne or in Rockledge or even in Palm Bay, I think that would be to the betterment of our city.
No, absolutely. Those are all great ideas. I mean, my biggest concern, I guess I'm not the best cheerleader all the time. I think it's going to be a great project down there. We also have some dirt already being moved over on the Parkway over near Heritage High School as well, in the Malabar intersection of the St. John's Parkway going in the northwest. And so I think there's certainly a lot of good things going on there. What I want to make sure is that we weren't able, a lot of mistakes were had by a lot of previous staff, but we had mistakes in not getting the developers having the agreements lined up so that we make sure that new developments helping our existing citizens and not our existing citizens subsidizing new development. So for me, it's a technical approach, and make sure that we're watching that I want us to allow them to build it. They have a CDD already set up. We've already approved that for them down and around the interchange, so that they can, it's kind of like a mixture of an HOA that also has commercial, is the way I kind of layman terms describe it, which means that they have a board, and they will have the ability to do things like fees. So, for instance, when you guys go up to Hammock Landings in West Melbourne, across the street from Palm Bay, you pay an extra, I think it's a penny or half penny up there for sales tax. I don't know if you ever noticed that in your receipts, but that's because they have a little CDD set up in that little area. So that's so that they can keep up their infrastructure, that they have that parkway type of road, that single access. We're going to see some of that type of layout. You have the mixed use with apartments. We'll have a little bit more of a variety of the type of housing down there and the plans that they've given out. And so for me, it's go for it. I mean, whatever they can market and make money on, I think that's great. And whatever they can sell. What I want to make sure is that they're supporting, all the added infrastructure, public safety, that they services that they are demanding based on their growth is paid for by them, and make sure we get the impact fees. So that right now we haven't had to dip out of. We've been able to use our transportation impact fees for things like the parkway and paying off some of the mitigation.
Hold on,
the interchange. Oh, go ahead.
Coming back.
No, stay on the line. I have the two candidates calling me at the same time. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna have Miss
Hello?
Yeah. Hey Rob, give me 1 second. I'm gonna have Miss K. Miss K is on the line and Rob Medina is on the line. I'm gonna hold up my phone so you guys can hear them. So Miss K, go ahead and talk to us about the numbers. Actually, Mr. Jeff Bailey, can you tell her the numbers right now? Because she's not seeing them.
Yeah. 1 second. She is around 41%, if I remember correctly. She has, so Kay had 8,600 approximately, 40%, and Rob's at 45. So he's got about a 5-point win as far as first and second place, but they're both going to move on to the next election.
Okay.
So she was about 1,000 votes off.
Okay, great.
1,100.
So hearing that, Ms. K, how do you feel?
Well, I'm glad that we're moving forward to November, and of course, we try to run a strong campaign to be able to send our message there, let people know that what we stand for and our goals and plans for the city of Palm Bay. So I am, of course, everybody would love to, to win it outright, but I am pleased with the results so far.
Awesome. Mr. Benina, you there, sir?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm truly honored that the citizens of Palm Bay have selected me as one of 4 candidates to move forward to November. I believe that my message resonated with the citizens of Palm Bay to restore the public trust in our local government, and to, I think they actually understand that this Marine has the leadership capacity, the leadership abilities to bring better days for the citizens of Palm Bay, to bring us to a level of not only accountability and transparency. I truly believe that our message resonated with the fact that we can do a lot better, and setting the tone a little higher. So I also would like to see the city be an all-American city. There are visions that I have of prosperity for this city, and so I truly believe that that message really resonated. So it is truly an honor.
Awesome,
to
sir.
have been selected one of 4 candidates to move on to November. I want to thank the citizens of Palm Bay. I want to take this opportunity to let them know how much I appreciate them believing in me and having faith in my leadership.
Okay, sir. Well, that's what we wanted to get you on the record. So, Ms. K and Mr. Benina, congrats to both of you for moving on. Anything else you guys want to say to them? Have Mr. Ron McLean on the platform tonight, and Mr. Jeff Bailey. You guys want to say anything to them before we hang out from them?
Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, well, just say congratulations to you both. I think you guys have tried to run good campaigns so far. I know you guys are probably both very tired, and I can appreciate that and empathize with you. But regenerate, regather your strength, and we're looking forward to hearing from both of you as you guys move forward to November, and whenever you guys are going to be the next mayor. I'm going to look forward to sitting next to one of you.
Well, thank you so much. Definitely, I know myself, I'm sure Mr. Medina is exhausted, and just again, definitely thank you for all the support for all the persons who voted, and of course this was a low turnout, and so we definitely want to encourage people going forward. Don't, lose that right. Make sure that you go out and vote and exercise your right to vote. And I'm looking forward to November. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. Mr. McLean, did you have anything to say to them or no?
I just wanted to offer my congratulations to both of the candidates. Wanted to say that I certainly appreciate all of the energy and effort that went into your campaigns. I have to give a shout out to Mr. Medina, only because he's a Marine and I'm Navy. So he's kind of like my cousin, that special cousin that you see once a year. We usually call him Uncle Sam's misguided children.
Well, I appreciate
But congratulations to both.
Say this. It is not only an honor to have been selected to move forward, but I also am honored that the vision for this city of a future, I believe, rests on the shoulders of that type of leadership. And so I want to thank you for this opportunity to share that message. I want to thank you for reaching out to me. I'm truly honored you guys even called. I'm sorry that I believe I missed your call, but Kevin, I called you as soon as I possibly could. It was kind of loud where I was at, and it is a humbling experience to receive a blessing from the entire community for me to move forward onto November. So I'm up to the challenge. I'm up to show my leadership capacity for this city and moving forward. May God bless you. May God keep you. And may God continue to bless our great city the city we call Palm Bay. Hoorah!
All right, sir. All right. Any closing remarks, Miss Kay?
Oh, yeah. Hello?
Yes. Go ahead. We're hearing you.
Oh, okay. Well, again, you know, it is definitely, I'm happy with the results. I'm happy with the confidence that persons have, you know, shown, given me actually to, you know, cast their ballot and, you know, put my name there. And so I take that in great stride and appreciate all of the support. And going forward, I want people to fully understand that my goal and my vision, making sure they know that I'm that unifying force, is able to turn this city in the true American city, that all-American city, because of what I'll bring. And new ideas, new vision, freshness, and just an opportunity for all citizens of Palm Bay to get equal access to opportunities, and that's what I bring. Again, freshness, idea, inclusivity, and you know, I look forward to serving as mayor for the city.
Awesome. Thank you guys for coming on tonight. I know you guys are tired. I mean, I visited with you guys right before I came on the line and took your photos and got you guys on video and all that good stuff. And I know you guys are pretty much tired right now. So go home, get some sleep, and celebrate later. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. All right. So there you have it. Both candidates that are advancing in mayoral race, they both called in at the same time. So we got them both on the line. Guys, I don't want to have to keep holding up my phone to the mic. Help me out. Go to palmbaylive.com. Hit that donate button. I need to raise about $400 to get a mixing board so I can be able to put a mixing board and tie it into my phone line so we don't have to keep doing that. So, yeah, so that's how much it costs. So please go to palmbaylive.com, hit that donate button, and $25, $10, whatever you have, make a donation so I can be able to. Remember, I'm a nonprofit organization, so you know, all tax deductible. Okay, so thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you for our panelists, Mr. Jeff and Ron, for joining us and making this a good discussion. And hopefully you guys enjoyed it. We see the outcomes. We know the outcomes of the races. And now we can move on. So next week on Palm Bay Live, I will have Mr. Alton Edmond and Mr. Scott Farrell, 25th and the 27th. Okay, that's what's happening next week on Palm Bay Live. So look out for those interviews. Please feel free to send in your questions ahead of time to palmbaylive@gmail.com, palmbaylive@gmail.com, so that way I can add them to the list. Thank you again. Thank you, Palm Bay. Have a blessed night. Good night.
Yeah, real quick, Kevin.
Go ahead.
Just a quick shout out, Rachel Sadoff. She won unopposed, but I just want to give her a quick shout out. She was going to have a race, but her opponent didn't qualify. She's going to be the next clerk of court. She's going to do a great job. She's been serving in that since she was young. So I just want to she's a good friend of mine. I want to give her a shout out. So, but thank you again, Kevin. You guys have a good night.